How's it going, everybody? My name is Melina Rebirth, and in this video I will be discussing um, the ways and the signs that you can tell that you're going through a spiritual awakening and dealing with loneliness. So I really want to talk about really the concept of loneliness, especially when you're going through a spiritual awakening. And with that being said, let's get into this video. Now, before I get started, I just want to tell y'all a little bit about my spiritual journey. I became, I guess, quote unquote, spiritually awakened whenever I turned 18. Now, of course, from about 14 to 18, around that time, I was beginning to get more knowledge and more information just about the idea of the matrix and then the different components of what exactly makes the matrix. So, you know, I don't want to say I started my spiritual journey whenever I was 14 because it's not it's I don't want to count that. I really want to count whenever I was 18 because that's when I really had like a transformation from, I guess, waking up in a different level, and that may be because of the evolution of YouTube or just getting content readily available to you, you know, via the internet, or you know, just different things like YouTube, social media, things of that nature, and also doing research and reading and learning about spirituality. So with that being said, I do want to say that. And for the sake of this video, I do want to keep this video short. I'm going to talk about the idea of loneliness and the disconnection aspect of it, and I also want to talk about some of the ways that you can become more grounded and kind of appreciate the loneliness feeling of being, you know, on the journey of spiritual awakening, because that's normally when people feel the most alone. And with that being said, guys, let's get into it. So when we think of the word disconnect, what is disconnect? Disconnect in a sense of like spiritual awakening would be a unplugging of the matrix, unplugging of a reality that you once lived. So that could be, you know, leaving a job or cutting off a couple friends or family members, or breaking up from a relationship, or just having just a just, I don't know, for me, like whenever I spiritually woke up, it was kind of just like one day I was just like, bro, like the universe, like things that we've been taught is not necessarily true, you know, and just things of that nature. I'll make other videos with that, but I know most people, they find their spiritual awakening from something occurs in their life, like a breakup or like a family death or losing a job or just stuff like that. So you must understand the word disconnection. So when you have disconnection, of course, when you mix that with spirituality, one thing that you're taught in spirituality and that you come to terms with is we are all one. We are all, you know, one with each other. We all must learn how to respect each other, love each other unconditionally. So you would think, you know, it's natural for us to want to be social butterflies, communicate, you know, have that balance of communicating with people and listening to people, and also being able to be by yourself. But you know, it is kind of weird whenever you're alone a lot, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I want to say, when you're becoming conscious and you're tapping into the spiritual world, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's like you're becoming one with the world, with the universe, but you're also at the same time becoming disconnected. And unfortunately, in the quote unquote conscious community, the spirituality community, people, a lot of teachers don't talk about the disconnection that comes with the journey of awakening, and that's what I'm here for. I know some YouTubers have talked about it. I want to talk about my perception of it. It's a double-edged sword. So just understand and know kind of have an idea of what's happening in your life. So the next thing that you must understand when it comes to is disconnection is about energies, frequencies. So the themes for all my video is based off of spirituality. So if you're listening to my videos, you must be in a spiritual and you must be listening in a spiritual way, with a spiritual ear and a spiritual heart and a spiritual understanding and a spiritual consciousness, and understand that whenever you are graduating or ascendating or whatever, or you know, evolution, not evolution, whenever you're graduating to a next level of frequency, you must understand that not everybody's going to be with you. We are who we attract. So if you are somebody that is toxic, you're going to attract toxic things. If you're somebody that is positive, you're going to attract positive things. So it may not happen when you want it to happen, but when it does happen, you must be prepared. And that's where, you know, the loneliness comes from. It comes from a time of being prepared, of getting prepared and getting in tune with yourself. So just know that everything happens for a reason. So let's say, for example, you know, I'm working a job and I become more spiritually aligned, I become more spiritually awakened. I may lose that job because some of the things that they do, I do not technically agree with it. So something may come about that will cause me to lose that job. So just understand that we are operating at a frequency level, and just know that whenever you are graduating, whenever you are evolving to the next level, you will eventually attract like-minded individuals as you. You just have to be willing to put in the work while you have your alone time, while you have that time period, however long it is, when you're supposed to be getting in tune with yourself, putting in the spiritual work in order to see the results. So know that with disconnection comes you unplugging from your old reality, unplugging from your old way of living, unplugging from your different lifestyle and plugging into new lifestyle. So for example, I'm going to use myself. All right, I want to say, to be honest with you, I've had multiple spiritual awakenings, and that's another thing I want to talk about. Whenever you are going through the spiritual journey, know that you're gonna be going through a lot of lonely times and periods, and just understand that it's all part of the journey. For example, this is my second time going through a lonely period where, you know, I should be taking the time to you know, put in the work, learn my different powers and different capabilities, and get out there and help the world. Because guess what, and this is another thing I want to say, just because you're feeling lonely right now, just know that there are a lot of souls that know about the conscious community and know about, you know, frequencies and different things like crystals, tarot card readings, all kind of different things. Just know that there's a lot of us out there. There's a lot of spiritual workers out there, and it will take time and effort in order to tap into that network. Just know that while you're going through limbo, work on yourself and get. I will repeat that like 5 more times in this video because it's very, very important. So I want to get into how disconnection looks like in your life, and what it's going to look like whenever, you know, it happens to you, or if it's already happened to you. So let's say, for example, there's like 3 ways that the disconnection can happen. It can either be you become spiritually awakened, and then let's say if you're with somebody, or you're in a intimate relationship with somebody, or it could just be a friendship, a platonic relationship, whatever the case may be. Let's say, for example, you wake up, all right, you become more spiritually inclined. The person that you're with or that you're cool with, they can either become spiritually inclined or not. You know what I'm saying? So that's one level. And you may feel that disconnection in the time whenever they're not with it, or then eventually they'll be with it, but that just comes with time. Another way of disconnection is, let's say for example, you become more spiritually inclined, you go through you go through your awakeness, and your family and friends, a lot of them are not going to follow you, they're not going to be able to vibrate with you, and as a result your relationship may not be as strong as it once used to, or you just may cut them out of your life completely, which there's nothing wrong with that. But there may be like two, three, maybe four family members or friends or whatever that understand your awakening, and they become more awakened, they become awakened with you. So that's another way. Third way is you become spiritually awakened and you're going through a time of loneliness or whatever the case is, and nobody, like your significant other, you could have had a divorce, no you're you could have you could be going through a divorce, or the people that you're cool with or your family and friends just completely just don't vibrate with you anymore. They don't look out for you anymore, they don't check up on you, or whatever the case may be. Just understand that it's temporary. So understand that it can happen very, very fast. And know, understand that whenever you unplug from a reality, especially if it's lower vibration, understand that you are plugging into another reality that is higher vibration. You just have to be willing to go through the times, and don't try and do your best to not go back to your old reality. And I know, a lot of the times we're trained to live in our ego, so we think, oh well, my old reality was fine, I was quote unquote happy. But you have to ask yourself, like, were you really happy, were you really growing? Because the main purpose of us living our life is to not reincarnate back whenever it gets time for us to go into another reality physically, the whole 9 yards. So just know that being alone is perfectly okay. Do not fall into the mindset of, oh, I'm alone, I need somebody to come validate me, I need somebody to make me feel better. You know what I'm saying? Just understand that this is the perfect time for you to meditate, for you to get grounded, for you to manifest things in your life, for you to work on your spiritual gifts, because I believe that we all have spiritual gifts, whether if we believe it or not. And you don't want to fight the process. Try not to backtrack and go into your old reality. Understand that it's just understand that there's more opportunity to come, especially when you're putting in the work. And a way to make, the loneliness go away faster is put in the work. If you are somebody that's a teacher, create content that you can give to people. If you're somebody that's good at drawing, if you're somebody that's good at art, of course, draw, paint, and put it out there for the universe to see. You can also sell your paintings. Like, I know a lot of beautiful black kings and queens. I know a lot of people that know how to paint in general, that have used their talents and used their gifts and have actually been able to, make a living off of that. Not to bring up money, but, I'm just saying. I'm just saying that you want to be working on yourself in the process. And I think that's like my fifth time saying that. Understand that loneliness is a gift. And another video I want to make is about remaining celibate and not understanding, as a female, your body is a temple and you cannot let any and everybody up inside of you. I know that the music that we listen to is not good for our souls. A lot of people listen to a lot of things. I fall victim to it too, I can't lie. But I want to make another video about that. But I want to also talk about, in this last part, and I'm going to go ahead and close after this, I want to talk about the different ways that you can become grounded. And it's all about really going into nature and being appreciative of the small things in life. Like, for example, go on walks in the park, or, you know, just any hiking or anything that you can do to be out in nature. So let's say you can go outside and stand by a tree, take your shoes and socks off, and just stand in the dirt and understand that you must know to work inside of your body physically just as you're doing mentally. A lot of things that we go through is mental, and a lot of people don't understand. And this is something deep and something that I feel as though the higher ups understand, but we as I guess lower class people or lower intellect, because Illuminati, they think that they are the enlightened ones. But going back to what I was saying, understand that a lot of these things that we are thinking is mental, and people of higher intellect understand that if you're able to imprison somebody mentally, then that will override the physical any day. It's all in your mind. So understand that you want to have a balance between spirituality and also reality, and find that balance. The best way to do that is through exercising, going outside, being one in nature, taking salt baths, going hiking, dancing. I know a lot of people like to dance. I enjoy dancing, especially whenever I was younger. Meditating. And when I say meditating, I don't mean just thinking about meditation. I mean actually doing simple things, like you can do sun gazing, you can do moon gazing, you can go in front of a mirror and look at yourself for 10 minutes straight. If that's too much for you, you can bump it down to 5. You can also take the time out to just be in silence and breathe, like listen to your breath, breathe for like 5 minutes. You can also do yoga, and there's so many different things that you can do. But just know it's important to be grounded in times of loneliness, because you do not want to get lost in the sauce of being alone and be a lost soul. And I know that whenever you become too spiritually inclined, you become sensitive to everything. You forget how to survive, how to use your survival instincts. It can get kind of tricky, but that's why I say make sure that you stay grounded. Um, if you know me, you know that I'm very big into crystals. I love crystals. Crystals help with my energies. And this is a balanced chakra. Well, kind of, it's a balanced crystal. And what it's designed to do is capture negative energy and make it to positive energy to its best to the best of its abilities. Gosh, I can't get these words out. And of course, I haven't charged it in a while. I am gonna charge it pretty soon, because I think we have a new moon coming up December 13th, and it's like Friday the 13th. But anyways, um, this is helping me a lot be grounded and balanced, especially in a time of loneliness, because that is something that I'm going through right now, which is hence the reason why I'm making this video. um, a little bit about my life is I just moved to a different city, um, to Austin, Texas. So if you're out in Austin, Texas, let me know. So I'm coming from like a city that I've been in my whole entire life, where I have like my family and friends and I know people there. But here, I'm going through a time of loneliness, and I'm not saying I'm looking for a friend, but I understand, like, I know where I'm at in life, and I'm very appreciative of it. And I want to get into doing tarot card readings. So if you know anything about that, put it in the comments down below. If you know anything about tarot card readings, I would love to learn and get into that side of spirituality. But so anyways, guys, hope you've enjoyed this video. And with that being said, just understand that being alone and going through loneliness is just temporary, and learn to be in tune and work with yourself and get balance and grow in this time. And normally you go through this time, especially whenever you're in your early 20s or whenever you're just going through a spiritual awakening. And know that in order to become, like, a caterpillar goes into the cocoon and is in there for a while. It's alone for a while, but it comes out as a beautiful butterfly, and it's able to fly with other butterflies. So just have that kind of mindset and understand that it's just a process and you're just going through the journey. And you must, most importantly, be like water. Like, what's his name? Bruce Lee said, you want to be like water. And that's like the last law of the 48 laws of power. But you want to be like water and be able to adapt to your surroundings. And just know that while you're adapting, you want to get grounded. So with that being, make sure to subscribe to this channel. This is Melanin Rebirth channel. I do spiritual videos. Like, for example, I have a playlist talking about crystals. I've made a playlist talking about chakras, life path. I'm working on a playlist talking about hair, especially if you're getting locks or you're somebody that's deciding to go natural, just the power of hair. And also eating healthy, things of that nature. So just make sure you subscribe. With that being said, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.